What's up, amazing real estate agents? It is Wednesday. That means we're back at it, guys. We're so excited to have Janie on with us, guys, as we talk about, something that it needs to be talked about more. When I talk to agents, I hear all the time, luxury is this, and as soon as they immediately say it's a price point, and we know it's not. And so this is going to be a really good fire topic, guys, to kind of get things started and get things flowing a little bit. But Janie, how's your day going?
It's going. I'm super excited. First of all, it's spring, so everything is greening up. It looks really pretty. It seems like from one week to the next, we went from brown everything to green, so that's nice. And I'm super excited to be on with you and everybody else in the comments. We definitely look at your comments. We bring them up, so if you want to be highlighted, ask comments along the way, and we'll pop up. Hey there, see, super.
Yeah, guys, feel free, guys. This is all interactive. So if you're watching on Instagram, I'll grab your comments. We'll make feed back and forth on the Instagram feed. But if you're on YouTube, feel free to drop in where you're watching from. That way we can actually see your comments. We'll throw them up on the screen. It's really all about interaction, guys. So we want to build a relationship here with you guys. So drop in your stuff.
And if you're watching this on replay, you can always ask questions. We try to check the questions, come back, make sure to tag us, either Elevate or me, Janie. And we do go back and answer your questions in the replay as well. Hey, Matthew, good to see you. Miguel, good to see you.
A lot of names I recognize. I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, yes.
Awesome. Cool. Lots of people. Jill, Dana. The ones who have like business names for your ad, I'm not going to say your name because I messed up. Rebecca, Joyce.
Love it, guys. Thank you guys so much. We got Nashville in the house. Aurora's here.
Daniel,
Love it, guys. A lot of people are starting to flow on Instagram too. So hello to the Instagram folks. You guys are awesome.
Hello.
We just can't bring your comments on. It's not connected that way, but we see them. So just know we see them.
So, well, Jeremy, besides price point, which, by the way, speed test to you, what is the one price that everybody tells you they think luxury starts at?
$1 million.
And how long have they been telling you that?
Years and years. And literally, guys, $1 million is not luxury where I'm at. Like I'm in Central Kentucky, guys. So you're probably looking at 700,000, 800,000, probably a good starting place for a nice luxury property here. I'm sure there's people on here going, $1 million and it doesn't buy me a shack, on the beach somewhere, right? We know that.
Yeah. So that's like a funny thing that's persisted. I've been in real estate 21 years, and that's been like the same number people think, regardless of location, regardless of point in time, regardless of the market. So take that number out of your head, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But it really is not about price point. And it's also not about how you dress, the car you drive, the shoes you wear, or anything like that. It's really the service that you provide to your client and how you internally think of yourself. Not that you think of yourself as a luxury home, but that you think of yourself as a real estate advisor for folks at the higher price points. And that's such a big difference, mindset shift wise, identity shift wise, is do you view yourself as a higher priced advisor to people who are buying and selling properties at the higher price point? And once you start to think of yourself like that, everything starts to shift. Everything kind of becomes clear. And it's not about these superficial things. It's really about the service and the professionalism and the guidance that you provide.
And honestly, it's over time, right, Janie? So this is not like, this could be one of those shifts you make, guys. Make the decision right now that, I want to become this luxury expert or this luxury real estate professional, and just slowly grow what you're doing, your assets, make them look a little more cleaner, right? Make sure your presentation looks a little better. There's a lot of things you could do, but, you got to decide to start now, because if we don't, you're going to go 3-6 months down the road and be like, dang it, I wish I started this a year ago, right?
If any of you have been in the personal development space like I have, I'm a personal development junkie. We learn all the time that most of us think in the kind of have, do, be. Like, once I have luxury listings, I'm going to be showing luxury property and I'll be a luxury agent, right? They think backwards. But
Yep.
you don't get luxury business if you're not thinking of yourself in that way, if you're not kind of identifying yourself to yourself mostly. That's the first start. So instead of being have, do, be, you have to be, do, have. So thinking of yourself as, again, I call myself a real estate advisor. I don't call myself an agent. I don't call myself a broker. I don't call myself a salesperson. I call myself a real estate advisor, and that's how I think. I think truly as an advisor to the people that I work with, which detaches a little bit from the outcome for me so that I can advise them to the best of my ability of what's proper for them, which shifts how they feel I'm coming at the situation, because they don't think I'm coming at the situation from a personal bias standpoint, which then leads into how am I behaving with them? What am I doing? And then, the business, everything else falls into place. So
it seems so small, but think about that for a minute. Like everybody is a realtor, right? Everybody is. But when you shift that one word, I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, as a marketing guy, I'm sitting there going, that's a genius shift to think, okay, I'm going to be different than everybody else. Like that, we're always trying to find ways to stand out. Yep. And so, if you change your way and say, look, I'm here to advise you, what that means is you're telling your buyers and sellers, they already have opinions, right? They already have thoughts, but you're here to advise them on with your expertise on what's best. I love that. I never actually, you know how many workshops I've done on luxury, and I've never came to that point. Dumb. I'm like, that's crazy. Awesome. Well, good shift, by the way. Good shift.
Yeah. So I always say, first of all, at least if you're in North America, you have people who have licenses, which is like the huge number of people. 1.52 million people have licenses in the US alone. But only of those are a small amount of people actually selling real estate, where they might identify themselves as a realtor, real estate salesperson, something like that. A certain part of those consider themselves a salesperson. So kind of sales is their main kind of identity of how they operate in the world under the umbrella of real estate. And then a very micro segment or small segment are people who really consider themselves a real estate advisor. And in my personal opinion, that's when you really elevate to the same kind of status as, say, a CPA, a financial advisor, an attorney, where you're in an advisory capacity and you're putting the money follows, but you're not attaching anything that you advise or say or anything to the money, because that follows. You're really doing it in an advisory capacity to your clients, and they pick that up. They really pick that up. So
it's good stuff.
That's the you can all go home now. No, just kidding.
It's got the golden nugget right there.
That is the golden nugget. It's the identity shift, how you see yourself first. How you see yourself first. And again, it's not necessarily about clothing and cars and all the things, because a lot of people think, oh, I can't be a luxury agent, or I can't sell higher price points because I don't have the car or the clothing or the shoes or the bag or the zip code or the pedigree, whatever. That's all nonsense.
Literally, I've got an agent here in Central Kentucky, guys, that they are a luxury agent. Like I'm telling you, they don't sell properties under, maybe 1.2 rarely. Like they're all above that. And so she drives I think it's like, if I remember correct, it's like a 1988 pickup truck. And she relates, but we're in Kentucky, so it's a little different probably. We're about the, farms and stuff like that here. Yeah. And so like, that's what she sells a lot of. And literally she relates to her clients like off the bat. And that's really what she's done. She's built this relationship status where like they know to call her. Like that's just what she's get all of her businesses from referral, every bit of it. And it's because she is this country agent that literally takes care of the people that have a little bit more extra money, and she rock stars at it. And so I think that's the coolest part about
it. Bro Rye, I don't know how to say your name. He said real estate advisor. That's fire. It absolutely is fire. Like I would even consider, if you're going to take that on as your identity, change your e-signature, change your business cards, put it out there that you are a real estate advisor.
Google business pages, change your name on the Google business page.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get on into it. We're going to do kind of a speed round, and then we'll have time for questions as well. So reality check, like I said, it's not about price point. It's not about zip code. It's Also not even necessarily about the type of client. It's really about your way of operating, your own OS, your own operating system, which starts internally with you, how you behave. And then it extrapolates out into many different aspects of how you're dealing with people. What luxury buyers and sellers really, really want, they want certainty. It is so important that they're used to dealing with top tier CPAs, top tier attorneys, top tier financial advisors. They see and expect the same from you as far as your capacity to, again, advise them, to help them distill it down, to help make this whole transaction easier, take things off their plate, take worry off their plate. So they are looking for people who are educated, knowledgeable, skilled. And all of this you can mostly get on your own before you even have luxury real estate business, by studying the MLS, by studying luxury listing marketing, by attaining whatever trainings you can, because you're going to start to pick up the language. You're going to start to pick up what seems important to people. You're going to start to pick up the data and the trends, start to really analyze that. That's how you start to become that knowledgeable professional that they're seeking.
Janie, do you think it has to do with confidence? Like, I mean, confidence is a big deal. And so, like,
Yeah.
when I see agents come across, like, I watch a lot of videos, and I'm like, I see agents come across as real confident. I'm almost like, I will hire you. Like,
Yeah.
it just makes you feel like that's that good. And so, I think it does take time to build that confidence, especially when you're doing video and stuff like that. But once you get it, that's a big deal. I think
It's a huge deal.
yeah, I think that's a big one.
And confidence is not arrogance, and it's not cockiness, and it's not know-it-all-ness, if that's a word.
Word now.
It's confidence in yourself, that you are the professional, you know your stuff. And that, like Jeremy's saying, that comes through. And that's what people are looking for. And a lot of times when I'm coaching and training agents, especially if they haven't yet sold in the price points that they want to, they're always so worried that they're going to be asked by the seller,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, what have you sold in this price point? But here's the deal, guys. If you show up with confidence, if you show up well prepared, if you show up with a great marketing plan and well presented, the chance of them asking you that is much, much less. And it has a lot less weight to them, because that's just kind of like a stopgap question. But if you show up and you are not that confident, and you're like, and you're not confident in what you're telling them, you're not confident in the advice you're giving them, or you're just not coming across as that kind of top tier professional, that's when they're going to ask you, because they are looking, you're right, for confidence and certainty that you are the right person to, no matter what, this is a big amount of money to anybody. And so they're looking to you, and certainty is really important. Discretion is often also really, really important. There's a few times discretion is less important. Sometimes, I hate to say it, but like if you have a B-list celebrity or a person who loves to be in the limelight, then they don't want discretion. They want to be kind of shouted out and stuff like that. But a huge segment of the higher price points, they want discretion. So that bleeds over to a lot of things. Don't be name dropping all these things, in your conversations with them, because you might not want them to be worried that you're going to be name dropping about them in other conversations. So try to, without asking them, try to gauge how much privacy and discretion matter to them, and then mirror that back so they understand that you understand what's important to them. That becomes super, super important. Leadership, like Jeremy and I were talking about, leadership comes in the form of, pricing conversations, getting the property ready to sell, offer negotiations if you're working with buyers and things like that.
And I was talking about, Janie, you mentioned earlier about, what happens when they do come up with that question? Because we do hear that a lot. I mean, when I do a lot of coaching, they're nervous, especially when they're breaking into luxury. They're really nervous to get that question. And I'm always like, here, guys, here's the deal. Just go back to what your brokerage is in, no matter what brokerage you're with, right? Go back and say, hey, because you all have mostly the same tools. I mean, if you're like an EXP luxury agent, you have a different set of tools. But if you're with other brokerage, you have tools. And you can literally, my backup is always like, look at all these homes that we've sold. in our brokerage. Look at what we do. We have access to the same tools, and I go above and beyond. So I always add that little piece in there. Say, hey, this is what our brokerage is, but here's what I do to go the extra step. And typically 9% of the time they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And rarely do you get the backup going, wait a minute, you've told me you've never sold a prop. You just rarely happens.
Listen, guys, you're not going to get all the listing appointments that you go on ever. That's just part of our business. So if you don't get one, it's not the end of the world. It was great practice for you, first of all. So just kind of go into it, because the problem is a lot of people don't start to go into higher price points, or don't start to go after higher price points because they're so afraid of that. But guys, I sometimes still don't even get listings for this reason, that reason, or the other reason. And I always, by the way, I always ask, if I don't get a listing, I always follow up. I thank them, very much for their time. And I say, hey, I always love to learn and improve. Can you share with me, what helped you make the decision? One time I was told, because I didn't tell them to paint the outside of the house, and another agent did, right? And I don't think it was necessary. It would have been nice, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But again, they felt that was important, and that was a deciding factor for them. Another person said I didn't have a notebook with me when I went around, so I wasn't taking notes. So now I write like, well,
you're
no
writing
matter
anything
what
you can on the notepad now. You're just saying, just writing down like stuff about their family, their friends. You're just writing
anything. But the point is, we're not going to always get every listing, but that should not disqualify you from going after it, because everything you do is always a learning lesson. So that aside, here's some things. First of all, it is very rare they ask you that question, period. Very, very rare. And if they do and you don't get it, again, it was a great experience. You'll be one more step to being even more confident. 2, show up again, well prepared, a little early, understand the market, do whatever kind of research you can on them so you can understand how they are as people, and be very well put together. 2, if that becomes a thing or you're concerned, see who else in your brokerage has already listed in those price points. Good. And call them in advance and say, hey, I'm going on a listing appointment. I might need a listing partner. Would this be something you're interested in? So that if they ask, you can say, oh, I'm partnering with so-and-so, and give them a whole little thing about them. That's the second thing. Then the third thing is, like Jeremy said, well, I haven't, but here's what I'm going to do. And by the way, I'm not, so busy that I'm not going to answer people's phones, and so jaded that I'm not going to do the marketing or whatever. It's such a small thing. And it is not the end of the world if you don't get your listing in the opportunity in the first place.
I had an agent say, Janie, I had an agent recently that had that same issue. Somebody actually, they asked the question, and it was so cool. They converted it, and they told me the other day, like, Jeremy, I converted it, and here's what I did. I told them, I said, here's the deal. Look, have I listed a home with your, it was like a 2.1 or something like that. Have I listed a home at your price range before? No, honestly, I have not. But here's the deal. If you give me 90 days, I can prove you that I'm going to market this thing out. And literally, it flipped the script on them. They were like, so you're telling me I can sign a 90-day contract versus a 6 or whatever it was, 6 month or whatever it was. And he was like, they signed on like right then and there, and they were like, prove it to me, basically. And it was the coolest thing ever. And he ended up selling the home in like 2.5 months. And it was like, it was an awesome story. And I thought that was, just go after it, right? What's the harm in saying, hey, I'll make it work?
There's no harm. And like I said, it is so rarely asked. And if at the end of the day you don't get the listing, you're going to show up to the next one even more confident. When I first moved to New Market 11 years ago, my first opportunity was through Expired. So that's my gig, as you guys know. It was over $2 million, which back then was really high in my market. And she asked me immediately on the phone, what have you sold? It's on the river. What have you sold on the river? Well, I hadn't sold anything in this market, much less on the river. So I took my broker owner with me, who had sold a lot on the river. And she sat there. I did the whole presentation. The broker owner didn't really have anything to do with this. And when we got to commission, and the seller asked what my commission was, I asked for a commission that was higher than the previous agent. I know for sure, because at that time you could see in the MLS at least what they're offering the buyer agent, and higher than what I knew my broker owner asked for. And so I just asked for that, and then I was quiet. And I'm pretty sure my broker owner was about to fall out of her chair, because here was this upstart agent coming. I got the listing, guys. And it had nothing to do with the broker owner. It had everything to do with the confidence that I displayed. So that's what I'm saying. Don't worry about it. They're looking for certainty, discretion, leadership guidance, and peace of mind.
So good. All those are great because, you're looking at thing going, if I can accomplish those 5 things, that's really what's holding you back on getting these potential high-end luxury listings. And really, if you can focus on those 5 things in your business and what those look like and how you're conveying those things to the clients, that's your step in right there.
That's your step. So like we said, there is the identity gap. A lot of times, just be thinking of yourself as the luxury advisor, the luxury real estate advisor, or just real estate advisor first, rather than salesperson or licensee or something like that. And then stop asking, how can I get clients? How can I get luxury clients? And just start showing up. How can I become the advisor these clients trust? That's an easier thing to answer sometimes for ourselves. And again, that's educating yourself, learning, studying, really becoming that person in your head first.
And Jane, talking about your preference. You're talking about like how do I be the agent before you're the agent, right? That we talk about a lot. And so, guys, one little trick. I just mentioned this on a video workshop I just did about an hour ago, and I said, hey guys, you have access to luxury listings in your market right now. Like, you can literally schedule a show and go to the luxury list, talk to the agent, tell them you're going to go, and literally shoot content like in a luxury home, like yesterday. And you honestly, people see that and obviously immediately think, holy crap, he does luxury, and that could be your step in. Like, I've got 3 agents this afternoon that they're telling me they're going to, after the video workshop I just did, they're going to go to their local market, schedule a show, and go into a luxury home. And they're going to basically show it off to their clients, potential clients, right? And I'm telling you, they're going to be instant become a luxury agent. Like, it's cool how that works. And so I think that, sometimes we just put too much in our head going, oh, how do we do this? How do we do that? Sometimes you just got to go out and make it happen.
I was showing one of my listings the other day, which is over 3 million, which is still high in our market. It's definitely in the top 2% probably. And the buyer's agent, who I'm very friendly with, who's really the way he built his business here in St. Augustine was through video. And he told me that he has been getting such a slew of luxury buyers from his videos that it's keeping him full time. And then that leads, once you start to get the luxury buyers, then you're putting out about your closings, and then you're becoming comfortable with the language and comfortable with how people market them. And then that just rolls into listings. So it's just getting yourself out there. So the luxury identity framework consists of 4 things: your standards, your presence, the experience your clients have, and the leadership that you display with them when you're walking them through.
Standards. Janie, agents have standards. Like sometimes literally, I'm not gonna mention names, but sometimes in my marketplace, I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Right. And you're like, you hear stories of some nasty, ugly stories sometimes. You're like, holding standards is a big deal nowadays. Like have standards and put them out there. Like, it's okay to put out there what you believe in and how you are going to do business. And it's okay to do that.
It's also okay to have boundaries. And that's part of standards too. And like, for example, I normally never answer my phone past 6 p.m. I might answer a text up to about 8 p.m. Because I'm not Walmart. And that very subtly also informs your clients that you're a professional and you have off hours. They're certainly not calling their attorney, at midnight unless they're in jail or something. So standards look like this. You're well prepared. You're prepared in knowledge. You're prepared in your presentation. You're prepared for the buyer tours or the listing appointment or whatever. You're just well prepared and everything looks nice. It's not overly swirly and fancy and all this stuff. It's just well done for the market you're in. If you're in New York or LA, everything might be a little bit more, high-end, sophisticated. If you're in an area like where I am, St. Augustine, or an area like Jeremy, Kentucky, then it's a little bit more understated with a little bit of quiet luxury. So you meet kind of your clients appropriate for the area you're in. But you have standards in preparation, you have standards in communication, like how frequently or how quickly will they hear back from you? How will you respond? How do you communicate with them? How do you communicate good news and bad news? Just again, holding yourself in your mind's eye first as that top tier advisor, and then how does that advisor hold themselves with their preparation for their communication, with their preparation for whatever things they have going on. What does their marketing look like, either for their buyers or for their sellers? And how is their professionalism? All of those things, we can all always level up. So what's one thing in each one of those things that you can level up towards that real estate advisor?
And then the next quarter, after you do some of those things in your business now, the next quarter you rethink it all and you think, okay, what am I missing? What's the element I need to add to it? And literally, guys, we're not in the business. I'm sure there's people on here that won't agree, but we're not in the business for a year or 2 years here, right? We're in the business for the long haul. And so, we need to start leveling up on a quarterly basis and work, not always in the business, but get an overview and saying, all right, what can we do to improve? And that needs to be almost a monthly deal, really. Like, what can I do to improve to make my stuff even better? And I'm always doing that. So I think that, you just got to think through your business, what you're missing, and what we need to add to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all the time. Good thing I have Pinterest, because I also keep a lot of the things that I want to level up in my Pinterest boards. The next one is presence. And don't get hung up in the belt, the shoes, the watch, the car, the this, the that, the other. All those things are great, and you definitely need to be put together, clean, organized, not messy. If you're wearing a blazer, your blazer should come to your, wrist bone and not be hanging down here. Like, those little things matter, but it's not about the labels. It's your presence. How are you showing up? Are you showing up calmly with composure? Are you showing up as a competent person? Are you showing up prepared? Are you clear on what you're saying and clear on what you're asking? Your presence creates confidence. I talk a lot about calm clarity. That's like something I'm kind of obsessed with, and I created a whole little mini toolkit around it, because I think it's one of the things that kind of levels us up the fastest with our presence, is just being calm and clear and prepared and competent in your conversations and in every little thing that you do with them. Our next pillar is the experience. And we think a lot about, if you go to the Ritz-Carlton, you're going to have a 5-star experience, or the Plaza in New York, you're going to have a 5-star experience. So what is the experience they have when they're dealing with you, both buyers, sellers, and I would say the other agents as well? You want to make sure that other agents, when dealing with you, also have a great experience. Is your communication thoughtful? Is it well conveyed? Are you professional with your marketing? Are you strategic with your preparation and explaining why you're doing things and why you're suggesting things? And do you have that calm process for clients? A lot of things I suggest, especially if you are listing properties, have a communication plan, a written communication plan, and just tell them, okay, I'm going to give you feedback within 24 hours, at least what I'm able to get from the other agent. I'm going to give you a bi-monthly marketing report. I'm going to give you a monthly market report update, and just let them know. And then you can say, do you like to be communicated by text, phone, email? What's the best way for you to take in information? And just give them an experience that makes them feel well cared for, well supported, but also taking worry off their shoulders. Because where they start to worry is when their agent is not communicating enough or not updating them enough. Bad news or good news doesn't matter. It's the experience of you giving them the news when they need to have the news, explaining what it means to them, and then moving on. But too many agents sometimes don't want to deliver bad news or don't want to deliver no news. So they don't deliver any news. And then that just makes the seller feel like they're forgotten or they're left behind or it doesn't matter. So really think about how can you give them a 5-star experience in dealings with you.
And honestly, communication is kind of almost the big thing we have to get right. Right. That's the one we have to make sure we get right, because if you go sometimes 3 days, these sellers specifically, if you don't talk to them for 3 days, some of them, they're like, oh, my agent's not doing anything. And you're like, we just have to find a way to communicate. And so, like, I know for a lot of the agents I'm coaching, we're building a platform to do like it's like a portal basically for clients, a client portal. And so, like, every time something's happening with the deal, every time, you got a buying request or a showing request or whatever, it shows up on the portal. So literally your client can log in at any point in time and be like, oh, this is where I'm at with the process. This is what my agent's currently doing. And they quickly see everything. I think, those are big deals. And that's what, especially the high-end clients, guys, that's what they want. They want communicated. They want to know where their money's going to go, right? They want to make sure and honestly, I hate to say it, but they want to make sure that you are doing what you said you were going to do. And so I think that, if we can communicate clearly, but also set boundaries. I love the idea of setting boundaries because it does set that standard and they have a standard. Why should you not have a standard too? And I think those are all fantastic ideas, guys. Just what can we do to level up your communication consistently with these clients?
Yeah. Our fourth pillar is leadership. Like they want, just like if they're going to an attorney or a CPA, they want advice. They don't just want an order taker. They don't just want a door opener. They want advice. They want leadership. It doesn't mean they're always going to take your advice, which is fine. Which is fine, but you need to give them advice. You need to give them guidance, what this means to you. And then sometimes you need to say, and what plan B would be, or what the outcome if this doesn't, like if you don't do this, or if they don't do this, what's plan B? So kind of like with chess, anticipating the next thing so that you are being a true leader. Even if that's not good news, sometimes we also get scared to go up into the higher price points, especially on the listing side, because people know that often means kind of harder pricing conversations or negotiation conversations. That's all just part of the thing. But so you're, again, detached from the outcome, be the best advisor you possibly can for them, show them their options, show them the potential outcomes, and give them the guidance, and then let them make the decision. But you're not just doing whatever willy-nilly they want without giving them feedback of what this could mean, right?
One thing talking about leadership, I don't know if it fits in the same pillar or not, and you'd probably yell at me if it doesn't. But my thought, because I get sidetracked sometimes, guys. So I got like ADD sometimes. So my thought process this is, are you presenting to these clients, these potential sellers, are you presenting that you have a team, even if you're a solo agent? Let me kind of be clear, because it does communicate differently. So like if I go into it and I say, if you've got a transaction coordinator, right? If you've got a videographer, a photographer, if you've got anything that helps you do stuff, right? You literally put them part of your team, and that comes across that this client is not only just hiring you, they're hiring a team of people. It comes across different. Like I looked at one the other day, an agent showed me their presentation, and it looked like, it's a solo agent, but they look like they have an amazing team on paperwork. Right. And I think that does come across like, oh, wow. Okay. And I've known agents that they swear that they won that listing because they have a big team, even though they were a solo agent. And so maybe think through how you can communicate that, because it shows leadership. It shows that it shows
leadership. Absolutely.
So
and that you're not a one-man shop, because I think that higher price consumers definitely know that a single person is not going to be an excellent negotiator, an excellent marketer, an excellent home preparer, all the things. The more sophisticated ones know that there are multiple kind of things there.
That's good. Yeah. So guys, in the chat, as we finish, we keep talking here, we got about 30 more minutes left in this thing, but we may not go that long. We'll see. We talk a lot, so we probably will. But my thought is, drop in the chat anything's resonating with you. Like drop something in that's saying, I think I can improve here, right? Because that gives us some thought of saying, all right, are we in the right direction in what we're sharing? Because I want to make sure that, if nothing else, you can't attend a workshop and then walk away going, okay, now what? Right? You got to walk away going, I have an idea of what I'm going to implement in my business. It's going to grow my business. I want to get you a positive ROI out of this. So write down what you're thinking about, what you're going to do differently, what you're going to improve, and then share with everybody else, because that may be trigger the moment for somebody else in the chat going, oh, okay, I get what you're going there. I think I can do that too.
Yeah, and this is just a little visual representation. Remember, I was talking about be, do, have versus have, do,
Oh yeah.
be. A lot of people think when my clients change, then my marketing is going to change, and then my confidence is going to change. And it's the reverse, like we talked about. Your confidence has to change first, or if you're already confident, your just identity has to come first, that you are a real estate advisor, which will, you know, extend out to how you're marketing, how you prepare, how you show up, and then your clients will change from that. So just remember, it starts internally always. Just like if you want to get fit, you don't all of a sudden get fit and then you start eating well.
That'd be great if that was how it
And
was.
then
Hey,
you're a
that'd
fit
be
person,
awesome.
right? Remember, your clients notice everything, especially the higher price point, because everything in their life they're used to dealing with
Yeah.
differently. They're used to how they communicate with the people who care for their home and their grounds differently, with their advisors, if it's a financial planner or a CPA or an attorney. They're used to going to, often higher end stores or higher end spas or gyms or clubs or things like that. So they are already used to a higher level of communication, presentation. Example, how you present a property is going to, you know, kind of lead who you are to them and how you can help them, how you prepare, how you guide conversations. Excellent compounds. And the more you just keep showing up in these little micro excellent segments, the more it shows up. And let me show you the reverse, how you communicate. Let's say you're sending short text, TY, for thank you. Or, let's say you're not responding for 12 hours to a text or an email. Or let's say when you're presenting a property, you're showing up hurriedly at the last minute and you're kind of rushing, you have a lot of papers and it's just kind of a mess, and you're not well prepared for the showing, and you're not well informed about the property. That shows up. How you prepare, again, how much you know about the property, how much you know about the area. Or you say, oh, I don't know, I'll have to get back to you, and you're just not at all prepared for whatever it is you're doing. How are you guiding conversations? Are you just letting them kind of take the reins and go with it? Or are you saying, yes, okay, we can do that, but let's talk about what the outcome might be if we do that, right? It all adds up. I've even been like showing listings of mine with the buyer's agent comes in, and it's so apparent that they haven't shown higher priced properties before, because they're like, ooh,
Yep.
at things that are normal for this priced property. So your buyers, like if you're working with buyers, your buyer's going to pick that up. Like, what? Like, my agent's never seen whatever
Yeah.
this appliance is or something
Good.
like that. So just these little things matter, and they notice, and each one of those stack on kind of how they see you and how they're feeling this experience is going. So also the emotional side of luxury. High value transactions involve obviously large financial decisions, but interestingly enough, they're normally not, even though they're higher transactions, they're normally not a larger percentage of somebody's wealth or finances than lower priced properties. So that kind of also often takes kind of the edge off a little bit, because it's different. There's often family dynamics, especially if you get into heritage properties or multi-generationally owned properties. There could be timing pressures or not, depending on what they have going on. And there's, sometimes emotional stress going on. So you just kind of have to take all that in, try to become a good student of dynamics of people and understand, how can you alleviate things? How can you kind of also mitigate, and this isn't all price points, but like if there's spouses having things going on, how can you kind of be the advisor again to bring it all back together? But yeah, down here, agents, we do have to kind of navigate both the data and the emotions. But interestingly enough, the emotions are not different or worse or stuff with higher price buyers and sellers than average price, which is something a lot of people get concerned about. That is going to be more difficult to deal with higher price. And I would actually say it's the reverse. As you go up, those people are generally, because it's a smaller percentage of like their life, right? And they're knowledgeable, and they've already, this is not their first rodeo.
And most
Buyers
of the time, that's what I was saying. Most of the time, they've done this before, and so
many
they've done
times
this
before.
multiple times before, and they're like very more comfortable, and they're like, "Yeah, let's just rock," right? And sometimes it is in a way. I've talked to some agents about it. They're like, a lot of times it's kind of an easier process to some, depends on who you're selling to and how stuff like, because they're like, "Yeah, we've done this before. Let's make this happen," and it's a comfortable feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're used to just going also much more often by the guidance of their advisor, their CPA, their financial planner. They're not like second guessing and doubting all the time if you're showing up with confidence and everything like that. So be the calm advantage, be steady, be clear, be prepared. It really helps everything out a lot by just being that calm person, that calm in all the stuff that goes along, and is very, very valuable to them with kind of the whole process. And being in front of them when they're asking questions, try to have answers before they even ask. If you have a listing, update them on how the listing's going before they even ask. If the market is shifting, update them when you see the shift, not 2 months later when the shift has passed. Like, you want to be kind of the person at the front of the boat so that they are not having to worry because you're advising them. So the biggest misconception, again, it's not about zip code. It's not about brokerage. It's not about the office. It's not about your luxury watch, bag, shoes, or belt. It's not about the car. All those things are nice. Don't get me wrong. And they can have a part to play. I'm not saying it's not those things, but the biggest thing is this: ourselves, our mindset, and how we show up, the confidence we bring, the experience we bring, again, that we can create for ourselves just by being a student of the market and of, selling higher price points, and the experience that we give our clients. So it's the luxury standard we create for ourselves, and then that we hold and give to the people that we work with. Some of the best advisors I know started in complete ordinary markets. Luxury isn't a geography, it's how you operate. And like, Jeremy was saying, even in his part of the world where it's not super,
Yep.
fancy, there's luxury in every single market. It's just what's relative, or higher price points. And I don't even want to say luxury to be, get people kind of nervous. There's higher price points in every single market. And if you're wanting to raise your average price point, you need to find out what that is in your market and what's going to speak to those people. Just like Jeremy is saying, this lady does so well and she drives an older model pickup. It might be off-putting if she shows up in, like a Maybach or something
That's
like
right.
that. People might be like, I'm not working
She
with
showed up
that.
in like, if she showed up like in a Bentley or something like that. She drives into, this $3 million farm. It's going to be like, wait a minute, do we hire the right realtor here? And so you got to really think through, meet where your audience are and
Right.
figure out what that is. And so I think that's huge. Yeah, I think, you just got to think through, guys. You guys can, if you're not broke into luxury yet, or maybe you are in luxury right now or into that field right now, great, rock it, right? Keep going. But for those that are on the kind of the fence post, waiting to see kind of what do I do next, we can't wait anymore. You got to, and Janie mentioned it earlier, right? You've got to be that person before the client sees you as that person. So you have to kind of bring it out there and go after it. Have some confidence with it.
Yeah.
Rebecca's awesome, by the way. Rebecca, I agree. Implementation is the key. We can't just sit and wait anymore.
100% implementation is the key. It's almost like if you're not already selling luxury, or you're not selling at the price point you want to, you have to a little bit brainwash yourself, right? And you have to immerse yourself. When I moved to Germany, I lived in Germany for 5 years. And of course I didn't, well, not of course, but I didn't speak German before I moved there. I had to immerse myself in the German language and in the German culture so that I could operate in that new environment. And within 6 months, I was having basic, conversations. Within 9 months, I was working at a German company, where most of our conversations were in German because I immersed myself in it. I changed my environment. We are very malleable people. We can, shift, we can adjust, we can create ourselves whoever we want to be. That's the most amazing thing. These days, you can even change your eye color permanently. So anyway, luxury listings, your reputation is part of it, but you can build the reputation, and then you can build the reputation. It's not that you have to have the reputation first. Relationships Same thing. You can build the relationships. I think we have a whole training called, creating your sphere of influence. If you go back to the channel, go in the lives tab and scroll down, there is a whole section on how you can actually craft and build your sphere of influence. Trust comes from confidence and preparation and standards, and then positioning about how you show up, which is everything we've been talking about here. So a different way to think, again, is not how do I get luxury listings, but how do I become the obvious advisor? We talked about that earlier. This is just kind of a recap, is just shifting how you think about yourself, shifting how you think about being prepared, shifting how you think about the experience that you provide, the knowledge that you hold, and how can you just always be leveling up. Like Jeremy said, make it a monthly challenge to yourself. How can I kind of level up this one thing or that one thing, and just have that be building blocks? You're not necessarily going to go from this to this overnight, but have building blocks. How can I level up my knowledge? How can I level up my listing presentation? How can I level up my marketing? And just, brick by brick, step by step.
And I think the key to all that really is comes to, and this is not going to change, guys, anytime soon, right? Real estate is built on relationships. So every little thing you improve in your business, you got to think, will this improve my relationships with people? Will this increase my relationship with people? And so, like, for example, like, I'll just give you a quick example because I'm a visual learner. And so, for my coaching clients that I coach, we've created a tool for a presentation. So basically we call it a pre-presentation. So before I even talk to the client, they understand who I am, what I do, how I do it. And I call it pre-relationship. So literally before we start a relationship, they're getting a relationship with me. It's really video heavy. And so I'll just give you a sample. Created a sample to send all my agents the other day. And so this is kind of, let's show it to you guys. If it lets me try this. There you go. And so when a new lead comes in, or a potential new lead, we have this going out to them. It is a video talking about, it's a nice little welcome video talking about you. It's got a purpose, basically a video talking about your purpose, a video talking about your marketing plan, a video talking about pricing strategy, and you can make this luxury feel. But the idea here, guys, is you're prepping things. So do you have something like that you could send to your clients or potential clients, right, immediately? That's what we want, because, guys, we live in a world where, we guys know this, how fast do you have to respond to people sometimes to get them, right? And so if it's during your daylight times, you should be responding pretty quick. And so you should have set up automations. And I won't go too much in this because I am a geek when it comes to automations and lead generation. That is kind of where my forte is on it. But, I think that the goal is, all right, if someone reached out to me today and they have a $2 million listing, what are we sending? What are we doing? What are we saying back to people immediately to build relationships, to make them think, okay, this guy is the agent for me? That's what we got to come across with. And so we're continuing to improve that. Like, what do you have in your systems and processes? And just think through it. You guys got that. You can improve on a daily basis, guys. And eventually you're going to get to a place you're really happy with. And, eventually we're going to get a place where, transactions come in like steady, instead of we got 2 and then for a month we don't have any, right? We have to get that consistent flow, because that's for the birds. I've been there, done that. We don't want to live in an up and down world. We want to live in a consistent world where you've got consistent income coming in, because I don't know about you guys, that makes me happy. And so, you guys got it. I mean, this is awesome. I think that I love this, where you said what happens when agents shift, because that's the thought process they have to go through. Is, am I ready to make that shift? And you're ready. You just got to make the shift.
Yeah. When they shift, they attract better clients, 100%. Also, when they shift, they're willing to pass on clients, because they're not operating from a place of scarcity or lack. They're operating from a place of abundance and confidence. So if a client is not a good fit, or not realistic, or not motivated, or not nice, they're confident enough in their time to pass on them. So that's how you end up having better clients. That's like the magic of real estate. They operate with more confidence, and their business becomes calmer and more profitable. So what would you change in your business if you operated at a luxury standard every single day? By the way, Matthew, I did see your chat. I think it's because you're looking at this on mobile. So the way StreamYard it works that we're on right now, it makes the slide kind of small. But you can rewatch it on desktop or laptop, and it'll be a little bit more.
Yeah, I wish, because we stream, guys. I don't know if you guys know, we stream to Instagram, we stream to YouTube, and every format's different. And so, we either make the slides the whole thing, or you don't see our faces at all, or you see only our face, which that'd be bad. But you get where I'm going. It's different formats, and I hear you.
Yeah, we with all the new platforms always coming out, there's always like things that work well and things that don't work well. If you enjoyed this, we'd love to have you stay connected with us. Follow this channel, like subscribe to this channel, Elevate in Luxury, which we'd love. That way you'll be notified of things that are coming up. You'll be notified of new drops that we have. We have something every single week on this channel. I believe it's every single week.
Yeah, multiple
in luxury tech stuff. This masterclass that we have every week. If you'd like to follow me, I'm on Instagram at Janie C. And Jeremy, what's your Instagram?
Mine's easy. Mine's Marketing Savvy Coach. Just
Marketing
search
Savvy
Coach. Any Instagram channel, any YouTube. That's weird. People ask me what's my platform of choice, and Janie, this is going to date me, but I'm a Facebook guy still.
I still like Facebook. I still use it.
It's still my go-to platform, even though Instagram's good, right? It's good. I am never, and people ask me all the time, because when I travel and speak, they're always like, "Hey, can you do a class on TikTok?" And I'm like, "No." I said, "I'm sorry, I'm not got there." And so, I again kind of lets focus on what works for you.
Yeah.
And so, if you're doing social, guys, just focus on what works and go after it. And don't try to do everything, because that's where we lose focus. When you're trying to be everywhere to everybody, and that's not how we grow. So, be who you want to go after, and that's who you're going to go after, right? Don't focus on. I saw an agent the other day said, "Jeremy, I gotta start doing something on," and it was some platform never heard of. And I'm like, okay, do that. And then I'm like, there's no way I can do one more platform. No way.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed your time with us. And if nothing else, we gave you one thing to think about, how you identify with and for yourself, not only in work, but how you identify for yourself in life. Sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm just a slow person," or "I'm just this person," or "I'm just an unfit person." No, it's how you identify yourself and the changes you make to bridge that gap, and how we talk to ourselves. I got so busy several years ago, so busy. I started to talk very badly to myself, and I would subconsciously say things like, I'm not going to say it, but I would start to call myself a bad name.
Yep.
Because I wasn't doing all the things I wanted to do for all the people I wanted to. And I was feeling so bad about it. And I finally caught myself. I finally realized the self-talk that I was saying to myself, that I'm sure nobody else in the world would say those things to me. They wouldn't even be thinking them, but I was, because I wasn't living up to all the things I wanted to do. So now I say to myself multiple times a day, "I'm so proud of you. You're doing so good. Keep going. I'm so proud of you." And just the self-talk alone of whatever it is in your life, how you identify, how you want to be, you're the one person who's with you all the time. You
can't get away from yourself sometimes, Jane. You can't.
Yeah. So just be mindful of the identity you create for yourself, because whether you intentionally create it or you just let things make that out of you, it's going to happen, and you can make happen whatever you want to happen. So be mindful about it and create that dream version of you. If you can think about it, that portion of you is already there. It's just bridging that gap to get there. So
good. Yeah, guys, I'll drop the YouTube channel. People on Instagram's asking where to rewatch this at, so I'll drop the YouTube channel inside the Instagram feed there in a minute.
Awesome.
And if you have questions about anything, let us know. We're here every second, is that right? So every second
Wednesday we have a masterclass.
Come in and hang out with us, guys. Our goal is honestly, and Janie and I both agree with this. Our goal is to help people. That's just what we do. And so we love talking to agents. We love, sharing what possibly could work, new ideas, that kind of stuff. I know Janie, she has 3-4 workshops today. I've got 3 workshops today. We're always doing something to improve or enhance, what we're doing, what agents are doing. And that's our passion. So guys, feel free to come out and hang out with us anytime. Watch the recordings inside YouTube. Anything else? I think that's it.
I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you
Awesome,
guys.
guys.
We appreciate you.
See y'all. Have a great one, guys.
Bye.